coming from a nation. Together we stand, we heading one direction. We reach for the sun, we got so much possessions. If we'd understand, we need to come together. Together and move, together on the move. Together on the move.
On this episode,
niliona niko na qualities inaweza ongoza nchi. Hata kwa mkutano wangu wa kwanza as a leader niliambiwa mama, mimi nataka kuwa president wa maskini.
Are you ready for progress in this country? Are you angry and tired of the same old order that is keeping us behind? Then you're ready for a female president.
Start celebrating the contribution women have made and really start isolating the spaces that women have been able to lead and have been able to lead effectively.
We are brought up as Kenyan women and men, and what has been instilled in us, that politics is dirty, so when you see a woman getting into politics, then you start questioning that woman.
So I want our people, the people of Kenya, to beware of the representation, because the time for men to be less in those houses is coming.
this is Together on the Move. And now, our host.
Wow. Karibuni sana. Nawasalimia sana. Muko sawa? Sawa. Karibuni sana. Ladies and gentlemen, the Constitution of Kenya does provide provisions for men and women to rule this beautiful country of ours. But there are challenges for women, as you might have noted in the recent and ongoing debate. Are women ready to scale the cultural heights that are making it difficult for them to take on these opportunities? So we are asking you, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to support our women to take on these opportunities? We want to talk about this and much, much more. But before we do that, let's take a look at this clip.
Together on the move.
The 2013 general elections will see an increase in the number of women participating in various elective positions. The Kenyan Constitution of 2010 has scaled up the representation of women through various provisions. As a result of this, women have recognized the challenge to take up the expanded spaces of leadership. Many civil society organizations are working tirelessly to conduct civic education to boost women's understanding of what is expected of them. In response, a number of women have registered with political parties and are now campaigning for the various posts. However, a constitutional crisis looms over the implementation of the two-thirds gender threshold. The apparent difficulty on the part of Parliament to approve the amendments in the Constitution to have achieved the two-thirds threshold presents a recipe for a social, political and economic crisis, which might affect not only women, but Kenyans at large. The task for women is to demand full implementation of the constitutional provisions.
That was a wonderful clip. We want to talk about this and much, much more. And now, let's put our hands together and welcome Ms. Trufena Mora. Karibu sana, Trufena. Karibu sana. Nashukuru sana. How are you? Karibu. Come here. Just sit right here with me. Hey, karibu sana. Wonderful. Hebu tuanze ukituambia tafadhali jina yako na kule unakotoka.
Majina yangu ni Trufena Mora, leader of Women Empowerment Kenya and political activist.
Hebu niambie kama uko na personal experience yoyote unaweza kutaka kushare na sisi ile ile kuinspire mpaka sasa ukafika kiwango hapo umefikia.
Ndio.
Yeah.
Ile iliniinspire zaidi ni kuona kuwa kama mimi mama niliona niko na qualities inaweza ongoza nchi. Hata kwa mkutano wangu wa kwanza as a leader niliambiwa mama, mimi nataka kuwa president wa maskini, sababu nchi yetu umaskini ndio mwingi na bahati mbaya wa Kenya wanachagua matajiri. Sasa matajiri mabwenyenye ndio wanaongoza, lakini baadaye tukiwachagua bado tunarudi tunalia, tunasema wa maskini hawashughulikiwi. Lakini kile ni inspire zaidi, nikasema nikiwa kiongozi ninaona mambo mengi mabaya sana inafanyika.
Niambie hayo ndio nataka kujua, zile vile imekuinfluence wewe mwenyewe directly.
Niyashughulikie kama mimi mwananchi wa Kenya. Number one, maskini wanadhulumiwa kwa njia nyingi sana. Inafika wakati nikiangalia runinga naona kama ni machozi inatoka pahali wa maskini wako kijiji ama wako vipanda, wako biasharani kama vipanda ya maskini. Unaona burudosa imeingia saa 9 usiku kupomolea maskini, hakuna hata notice yoyote wanapewa. Alafu tena unajaribu kama una report mfano kama polisi hawakushughulikii, wanaona wewe ni mtu wa kawaida, you have no value, una nini yoyote, dhamana yoyote. Kwa hivyo unachukuliwa kwa kama mtu hata uelewi ni nini umeenda kufanya huko. Sasa mimi saa nyingine najipigania mwenyewe mpaka mimi naenda kwa police commissioner, napeleka ile shida yangu sababu polisi hawa hapa hawaja hawakunishughulikia, waniona unapoteza muda hapa mama.
Ilikuwa shida gani? Kama ile unaweza kushare. Nataka tu ile uko comfortable na kushare.
Wakati gari yangu ilikuwa na shida, alafu mahali ilikuwa ikaibiwa, na in fact ile vitu iliibiwa, ilikuwa vitu mingi sana, lakini kuenda kulalamika polisi, na nilikuwa nimejua nani alifanya hiyo yote. Sasa ili hatua ichukuliwe, ikawa unaendeshwa kona vile polisi na hata hapo nikaona hata yangu haina shida sana. Nilikutana na watu hapo pia wana shida mbalimbali, wanajaribu kutafuta usaidizi, wengine wanakuwa dismissed. Mpaka inafikia nichukue niache yangu nishughulikie ya huyu, sababu huyu naona anatabu sana. Kama tuna uongozi thabiti, uongozi quality, hata polisi atakufanyia kile inahitajika kufanyia, atakushughulikia. Inataka uongozi bora ambao itafanya sio polisi peke yake, ile wizara zote zile zinahudumia wananchi ziwe ziko sawa, zinafanya kazi ile inahitaji washughulikie wananchi, sio polisi peke yake.
Nashukuru sana ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard her, and I think there are many people who are feeling exactly the way she is. And right now, we'd like to go for a quick break. We'll be right back. See you in a little while.
Together on the move.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are talking about whether women are ready to take on the opportunities that the Constitution currently bequeaths them. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for these ladies. Come on in, Tabitha. Come on in, Monica. Karibu. Come on in, come on in. Wow. Tell us who you are and the organization you work with.
My name is Esther Mwaura Muiro, and I work with an organization called Growth Kenya, which is an organization that invests in empowering grassroots women in rural and the slums of this country. Awesome. And we work with over 2,500 community-based organizations that are women-led. And what we do is to empower grassroots women to effectively participate in decision-making.
Wow, wonderful. If you would, let us know who you are.
Thank you very much. My name is Wabui Kanyi, the Executive Director for the Women's Political Alliance. The Women Political Alliance is mandated to work towards women's political and economic empowerment, and that is why we have been very active in ensuring women are effectively represented in political and economic decision making.
Monica, go ahead.
Oh, please. Thank you once again for inviting me. I'm Monica Molo, the Executive Director of the Women Shadow Parliament, Kenya. Our goal is to have a just society, and there is no way we can have a just society when the women are not involved in decision making. So our short-term goal is to have women involved in the decision making of this country.
Awesome.
Thank you.
My name is Tabitha Njoroge, and I am the Executive Director for Women in Law and Development in Africa.
Powerful girls, powerful, powerful. Monica,
Yes.
I am particularly interested in knowing. I know we saw you on television. You just recently participated in the campaigns. Please tell us a little bit about that.
It was a sad story. I think everybody in this country saw what was happening in Ndewa. It was embarrassing in the sense that we just had a new constitution the other day. And even as a party, I'm a member of ODM at a very high level. I'm a member of the National Executive Council. I detected right from the word go in preparation that somebody within ODM was planning to rig the election. It was a pity. I mentioned it and because we were applying a process which is not within our policy, yet as a member of the National Executive Council, we have our rules which were already given okay by the National Governing Council.
Yes.
And when somebody decided to apply the system which can only be applied by IEBC, then I questioned and I detected. So my limit of authority reached there. I said, okay, if this is what they are going to do, let's go on. And even at the campaign level, at the nomination level, I kept on questioning the manner in which things were being done. I could not get an answer. The members of elections board were saying, oh, it is so and so responsibility. But to make it worse, I saw a watchman within my party changing the figures. It is a pity. So to be specific,
yes,
are women ready,
yes,
to take up the positions created by affirmative action? I want to categorically tell you that the women of Kenya are very ready. The electorates of this country are very ready to elect women, but the political parties and the leadership of this country is not ready to have women on board to make decisions with them.
Tabitha, I just was wondering to myself, I've been listening to the debates, I've been reading the papers of recent, and I'm just wondering, were we too premature to celebrate the gains for women in the new constitution?
When we talk about this being premature or this being too little, too early, or too much, too late, I don't know. It's a case of disrespecting the effort that women have put in the struggle for a new constitution. So if you ask me, I'll tell you that for sure, this is just what women have asked for. It's the least they could do, demanding for the implementation of that constitution.
I hear you. I hear you. Wambui, what's the problem? Is it our society? Is it the people we have birthed as women? Is it the people we have raised? Is it the values? Is it the political system? What is the issue?
As Kenyans, we negotiated together for the new constitution, and together we passed the constitution in the year 2010. Our expectation for all of us is that the constitution was going to be implemented in letter and spirit, and women were part of those negotiations and part of passing that constitution. But I think when it comes to the implementation, I would say that as women we are getting challenges, and it is particularly just at the political level. Because when I look at, for example, the constitutional commissions that we have established, women are well represented. When I look at the judiciary, women are well represented. And I think it is that resistance that we need to look, why is it there? Because the constitution is there to be implemented in letter and in spirit for all of us Kenyans.
To do that. And I want to play the devil's advocate for a moment here. Allow me. you're talking about 2,000, over 2,000 members, right? And I also know that women are the majority voters. Having all that much power, how come we haven't made ourselves, our power, so known and so revered by the political parties that they cannot play this kind of games with us as women voters?
Well, I think let me first of all say that women have used the number, the mighty of the numbers, to do a lot of things. And I think we need to start celebrating the contribution women have made and really start isolating the spaces that women have been able to lead and have been able to lead effectively. That way we will start looking at things in a very focused and articulate way. Because what is happening when it comes to political arena, we have a group of people that influence the way people are talking, the way people are thinking, and more often it's people who are very, very much afraid to share the power that they already have. And they are very small percentage of the Kenyan population. And I think the Kenyan people must know that. The people who do not want to share power and leadership with men are very, very, very small. And I will say that it's not the women that have the responsibility to actually equalize this status quo. It is not the women that have the responsibility to ensure that there is gender equality in decision making. I think women have done very well in the private sector. It is being celebrated now. We are almost getting to 50% of the women who are leading and effectively leading the private sector. When you think about the UN system, and we have a big UN here in this country, we don't even hear, do we employ more women? Do we employ more men? Because there, the ground for playing is leveled. It is because in politics, the ground is not leveled. And that's the problem.
Okay, I hear you. And Monica, I'm just listening to what the ladies have just contributed, and based on your experience, even if we are to take away from party politics for the moment, what else do you think could have better improved the situation for women? Because that by-election had what? How many women? 3 women. 3 women, and none of them were supported.
To be specific, I'm scared. I thank the women of Kenya for having worked so hard to have affirmative action entrenched in the new constitution. But I'm scared, are we going to benefit from the affirmative action? And this is something which has not taken us just 1 year, 2 years, or 10 years. It has taken us more than 20 years. So specifically, I want to lobby the political leadership that they need to empathize with the women of Kenya who have worked so hard, who are willing to vote them in, just to let the women have the right to vote in fellow women. Because again, to go back to what happened in Dewa, Kangema, Kajiado, they were women.
But none of them.
And you can see that there is a problem of having the number of women represented in political processes. So the political leadership in this country ought just to have seen that what is it that we need to do to have even those 3 constituencies have women as the preferred candidate. Because I know people had their preferred candidates. Why is it that the leadership, the political leadership, cannot have us as their preferred candidates? And I want to tell the women of Kenya, especially now, in the next 3 months, that they need to be careful. Go to a political party where you are appreciated, because right now, all of them, the political leadership, are saying, we will support women. And when I see them saying, we will support women, I'm scared. I've been a politician for so many years. What I do on a day-to-day basis, and as executive director of the Women's Shadow Parliament, my work, and I work in very remote areas, Turkana, Lamu, Homa Bay, Busia. One thing that I do very well is to lobby women to join political parties and lobby men to work with women together. And the men are willing. They are saying women have changed. We are willing to have them. Now the problem is at the political party level.
Tabitha, I need to go back to the constitution now. And first of all, because I think one of the weaknesses with this constitutional implementation process is the lack of civic education. the knowledge, because the people who poll, the people who go to the polls are electorate. Have we been very vocal, or have we carefully told them what provisions in the constitutions are that protect women or provide the spaces for women, and which are these provisions to begin with, if we were to start with, and where are we at in terms of civic education?
Wow, good question, Domi, again. Yes, we have a challenge. We haven't quite done proper civic education. And for me, I like to think of it as civic engagement. Beyond civic education,
Yes.
I want this, the electorate, the Kenyans, the general public to be able to question how things are being done beyond the 2013 election. So yeah, a lot of gaps are there in terms of civic education. And there was something K-NICE that was supposed to be rolling out civic education.
Yes,
I'm not
by
sure
the Ministry of Justice,
they
isn't
have
it?
done that, which is, we don't have time, really, think about it.
My.
And if you're going to have change in terms of educating Kenyans, we don't have to wait until the last minute to begin to run. You know, we were with IEBC the other day trying to find out what they're doing about their civic education. They're just about to roll out as well. They haven't begun rolling out, which is quite a challenge. We're talking about 3 months, you know, to be able to educate Kenyans on how they will vote and what the Constitution talks about. It's not proper at all. There's a very big gap.
It's a huge
You asked
gap.
what provisions are there, and I want to focus on the leadership bit and say that even before looking at the provisions that women have, every elective position provided by this constitution is open to women as well.
Yes.
We have been to the ground and we have found that women have been told the governor's seat is not their seat because they have the women representative
Lack
seat.
of civic education
so
again,
the first thing that the women must know is that all these seats are also open for them to present themselves for election.
Yes.
On top of that, we have, you know, we have a new system of government. We have the Senate, where we are going to have 16 women, on top of the ones who will present themselves for election. There's a slot for 16 women to be nominated from political party lists, which is why, again, like she says, political parties are very dynamic and they're very instrumental in this process. So we must check and see how this list shall be done and how these women shall end up, what positions these women will take and what will qualify, what criteria will be used to determine what woman takes what position. Then we have the National Assembly, where we are, besides having the women who are going to be elected, we're also going to have these women coming from the counties. The 47 counties are going to have county women representatives who will again campaign in a whole county and then sit with MPs in the National Assembly. Wow. Which for me is really a big challenge and a lot of questions there. But that notwithstanding, let's first have the women in there.
Yes.
There are also the county executive committees, which for me are very powerful. They're sorts of cabinets. You know, they're like cabinet secretaries, like ministers of sorts at the county level, who have so much power and such important responsibilities. And as women, we're talking about devolved governments, devolved funds. Everything is now going to the county level. Women must really take part in those particular county executive committees.
Awesome.
They will be appointed by the governors and deputy governors, and they will be approved by the county assembly. Lazima tukae macho. In short, we really need to understand for us to be able then to demand what accrues to us.
So the issue of civic education is really
civic
big.
education is key.
Wambui, there are issues. There's an ongoing debate right now. I want to come back to you, and I think you have a point. But I hear there are questions coming from the audience. I would like to give them that opportunity first, then we'll come right here.